Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariana and I'm happy to have you here. I'm ready to rush into the second month of spring, which is April, in case you didn't know. Just kidding. Before I dive into my stitching plans, I want to congratulate those of you who celebrate Easter with at this point upcoming, but probably when you're going to be watching this video, they are going to be past holidays, because as I know, most of the world celebrates Easter on the 5th of April, but not Ukraine. Ukraine celebrates on the 12th, so I'm going to be celebrating two times, and once with according to the Italian tradition on the 5th of April, and then the second time according to Ukrainian tradition on 12th of April. So, but anyways, I want to wish you happy holidays. Use this time to spend it with your families. Be safe, be happy, enjoy the weather. So yeah. Now let's move on to, I'm not very great on congratulations and wishes. Maybe that's because I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert person. But yeah, I want to start this decade with my Bella Filipina, The Legend of Freya. You haven't seen it in March, because for some reason the roulette decided, the fortune wheel decided to skip it. So I've kind of missed it, and I'm happy that the fortune wheel chosen it. Can't wait to work on it. If you've been with me since the beginning, since the start of this project, you know that I've had my doubts as to where I'm gonna go with this project, because I like to progress my pieces from bottom up, and the design is designed in such a way that you can't possibly do that. So I was thinking about moving from side to side and then going to the bottom, and then there were different approaches that I considered, but the most likely and the most acceptable for me at this point in time would be to move up to her face. I'm just looking for something to show you, and I don't have any scissors at hand. So yeah, I'm gonna be moving up her torso. I don't know if I'm gonna work on the hand, on the arm, and the staff or whatever. Maybe it's a spear, but I definitely want to progress this way up. Not sure if I will finish the head, the face. It will depend on how much time I will have at hand to work on it. But that's the plan is as such, to move up to the mermaid's face. So yeah, today is the 1st of April, and in 10 days you'll see how much of my plans made it till the 10th of April. The Legend of Freya by Bella Filipina. I must say that I am also very satisfied with the progress, although I think I've been a lot more optimistic than I should have, probably, because I thought that I said that I'm gonna work on her head and that I'm gonna finish it, but it is quite an impressive amount of stitches to finish. If I wanted to finish it, at least the stitching part on her head. I didn't even touch the staff or this arm. I worked a little bit on her left arm, but I didn't go much down, because as you can see, that's the outline of my hoops. That's the area that I have been working on during this decade. when I was stitching her body and then when I was moving to her face, I had my doubts. Why? Not because there's something wrong with the design, but because I don't have original DMC flows that the design comes in. I have some, I don't know, Royal, Rosage, CXC. I don't know which are which. There is not much use of showing her up close because she comes to life at distance. Even after, that's why I wanted to finish all the stitches in her face, which I did, and then I knew that I needed to add some backstitch. There are some more on her face, but I just did the eyelashes and eyebrow and the lips. And yes, the magic is there. The face, I don't know, I probably should have taken a picture of this design without any backstitch and then with the backstitch being added. But I didn't think in the moment, so I just enjoyed this impressive transformation by myself. But I just look at her and it's amazing. It's just a few lines of backstitch and like 2.5 full stitches. Not really full stitches, but 3/4 and stuff. And it's amazing. I really wanted to work on her hair more. I wanted to add more outline to her face, but once again didn't have enough time, so I managed to progress her by 3%, so I'm already almost 12.5% through. This is nothing, even though it seems like the mermaid is there. So what else? What else are those 80, 88, 87% gonna be? Well, a lot. I hope that I kind of think I know that I'm not gonna get bored finishing her, even though I have already done the face. I think it's gonna like promote me continuing working on her and progressing her more and more. One more point I want to. That's going back to the point about not original floss that I use. As you can see, her hair looks like it is black, which it isn't. It is almost black, but in reality it's chocolate brown. I think, hold up, let me find the actual color. It's 3371 if we're talking DMC floss. I know that it can be, I mean, the original floss is dark brown, but it is a bit lighter. In my variation, it is very dark brown. And if you look through the camera or if you don't look up closely, you might think it is black. And I've seen people stitching this piece on Instagram, and I've seen those who have done the same parts as I did, and the hair on the mermaid is more brown rather than black. So I know, I can tell the difference, but it doesn't bother me, primarily because there's always that point when you associate your works with yourself in one way or another. And since we're talking about a female image, let's put it that way, I associate her with myself. And since I have black hair and the brown color is a bit darker than it should, it sits fine with me because I think you get the point, because it kind of, at least in the hair color, resembles me. So I've been able to add 952 stitches on this piece in one sitting. in one evening. It wasn't even a day, it was one evening after work. I don't know why it went so well. I didn't want to set her aside. I just wanted to work more on her, but I knew that if I do that, I wouldn't be able to progress my other projects that I planned for this decade. That's why I had to set her aside, and hopefully my fortune wheel will be lenient toward this piece in May, because I don't really want to work on it without it going on record. Although I could, but then there's not much use in it. So, The Legend of Freya, 12.4% through. The face is ready. So she's like gonna be asking and inviting me to progress and finish and frame it. Hopefully this time I will be able to frame it. I'll be able to find a suitable frame for her. I think at this point in time that even if I don't find a pre-made frame, I will order a custom one, probably somewhere in Ukraine, because I don't know where to look for that here in Italy, and of course the prices. So this is all I have done at this point at the beginning of April 2026. Another process that I'm going to be working on in the first decade of April is going to be Dahlia from Riolis. I know that you've seen it not so long ago in my last decade of March, but I guess my fortune wheel decided that I didn't progress this whip quite nicely, and honestly I agree, because if you watched my previous video, I managed to add only around 450 stitches in this project, which is in the whole scale, in the larger scale of the process, is basically nothing, because this kit is give or take 32,000 stitches, full stitch and back stitch included, and as you can see, I still have almost 25,000 to go before I finish it. However, considering that the fact that this kit stitches on, I don't know if it's 10 or maybe 11 count 8, at any rate it is something larger than 13th count. So this is not even 1/4 of the project done yet. It's just a little over 22%. So since the fortune wheel told me to work on this whip once again, I think I will try to keep my word and find the second corner. I hoped to do that during the last decade I was working on it, but I didn't have enough time, so as you can see, I will be focusing on this piece of blooming dahlia. If you look closely at the pattern and then compare it to the digital pattern, it isn't, I mean, the digital copy isn't half as pretty in color as the original, because these gorgeous, I don't know, wine red and pinks and just regular, no, I don't think they're regular reds, it's just on a pink spectrum, I would say, from the palest pink to the darkest. So our starting point in April is 22.5%, and we'll see how this decade will turn out for this process. Hopefully a lot, I mean at least twice as good as the previous one, so that we can finally see this this angle. Before I continue with the after part, for those of you who do not know this pattern, stitches in woolen floss. Well, it's not actual natural wool. It's acrylic. It says it's acrylic floss on the kit, on the front preview, I would say, of the design. So yeah, it is extremely pleasant to work with, but I know that some people have allergies to this acrylic floss. I'm not, hopefully yet, not one of them. And the peculiar thing is that sometimes people are allergic not to every color in the kit, but only to the red colors or some other vibrant colors. I don't know how this works, but I think it's quite, well, I wouldn't say strange, I would say peculiar. It's interesting how the human's body work. So yeah, Dahlias from Riolis 22.5, and let the magic happen. 10 days and maybe even a little more have passed, and I'm ready to share my progress on Dahlias from Riolis. Da-da-da-dum. I did it. I finally managed to find not actually to find, but to reach the second corner of the design. And I worked on this project for 2 days, or maybe it was 2 days. Yes, I remember it, and I added almost 1,200 stitches. And I think that you can see that I didn't manage to finish the whole Dahlia piece, but most of it, I mean, around 70% of this corner-ish Dahlia is done. This project in this decade flew. I don't know, maybe because I was in a better mind state, maybe I had more time, I don't know, maybe I was in the mood. Well, I was definitely in the mood to work with this project because it is so simple, yet it is so gorgeous. I'm gonna show you my stitches closer. Kind of looks like they are not as even as they look on my other projects, but that's the magic of acrylic floss. After you wash the canvas, everything changes. Like the floss evens out and becomes smooth and gorgeous. I mean, it is already gorgeous after you iron it out a bit and then stretch it as you frame it. Although I'm not sure if I'm gonna frame it. There was something I wanted to tell you while stitching this piece, but of course, after 10 days, it already slipped my mind. Of the point, I must add, I don't know if I said it before, but I think I haven't seen dahlias in Italy. I mean the fresh, not the fresh ones, but in someone's flower bed, in someone's yard. But in Ukraine, during the autumn time, they bloom everywhere, basically everywhere, and they come in different shapes and forms and colors. And actually, this year, we've seen a couple dahlia bulbs in a local supermarket, but we didn't buy it because I know that this flower requires, first of all, it requires space to be planted. You cannot actually plant it into the like terrace pot or something. You need a larger flower bed. That's point one, and point two being you have to every time you have to dig them out and store them for the winter. Although the winters here are not as harsh as they are in Ukraine, but I think that dahlias might not survive the winter even here. But and another plant, another bulbs, seeds that we've seen that we haven't seen here in blooming in Italy was gladioli flower, and these are one of my favorite ones, and we bought them. And actually today is the 11th of April. Today we planted them. And they have already started, not like they revived. They got ready for the spring, and we didn't want to postpone any longer because the weather forecast promises to be favorable. So yeah, that's some news about what was going on. Finally, it seems like finally spring is actually here. It's like in Italy and on the south of Italy. It's like something. There is no middle between winter and summer because we had this cold weather last week, and now it's over 25 degrees. I mean, I'm speaking Celsius because not that really familiar with how Fahrenheit goes. So it's getting warmer and warmer, and that's a good thing because tomorrow on the 12th we're gonna celebrate the Easter, the Ukrainian date Easter, and our friends and family gonna gather at our place. So since the weather allows it, we're gonna celebrate outside on a terrace, and it's something special about spring weather, the way the nature awakens. I don't know how to quote it in words, but I got carried away. So what about this project? At this point, I have done 26%. I am 26% through this project, which is great because if you remember, I think I started at the point of 22 in the beginning of April, and now it's 26, so 4+% is good, is more than good. So this is how the piece looks like. Maybe I'm gonna bring the camera up a little bit so that you can see the full picture. Anyways, it is gigantic, enormous. I'm not sure if it's gonna be framed. I have my doubts as to what I'm gonna do with this piece after I finish it, because it truly deserves to be on a display somewhere. But I'm not sure if it's a bit too large for a painting on the wall. But who knows? Time will tell. We still have like 74% to go. Not even sure if it's gonna happen this year. But I'm satisfied with this decade. I am more or less more satisfied than with the last one. It seems that my fortune wheel has some preferences of, I don't know, large count canvas. That's why in the first decade I have already worked on dahlias, and now I have to work on dragon from Panna, which is on 10 or 11 count Ada. I'm not sure which, never know. So this is how my project looks at this moment. There are maybe, a few stitches folded, but they don't change the whole picture as such. Besides, I'm not gonna be focusing on this part in during this decade. I will move to the left, and I will work with these beautiful teal colors for, I don't know, for as much as it takes. Maybe I will even work with some purples and violets. Don't know, depends how much time I will be able to dedicate to this process. At this point, my whip is over 52%, and which is great. I love when the project passes that half point, because subconsciously you start to want to work more on it, because it is closer to finish than other pieces, which I'll add the 30% or 20% or even 40% point. In stitches, I have a little over 11,000 left, which is not much considering some of my other whips that I'm working on, which have like 20, 30, or even maybe 40,000 to stitch before finish. So 52%, which is a great, I think it is a great mark. Don't know how many percent will be able to add to this to the dragon, but at this point in time, I am kind of already sure that it will be a finish sometime, someday in this year, because it has only 11,000 left. So, and maybe it's high time I finished it, because I started it back in 2022. I thought it was 2023. No, 2022. So it is high time I finish and turn it into a sofa cushion. Yes, it's not going to be a picture frame picture. It's going to be a cushion, decorative sort of cushion. So yeah, this is how my dragon looks in the beginning. I mean, or not in the beginning, before, and in a few seconds you will see how much I managed to progress it. Once again, I managed to reach my goals in this decade on this project as well. As I told you, I was going to focus on its paw, maybe. I mean, it's more the shoulder area, which I did. Although I am running late because today is the 11th, and actually I finished this part today, in between some tasks, some household tasks that I've been carrying out. This part took me 750 stitches. Well, I know it's not much, but at this point the project has reached 56.6%, which is great. But I want to correct myself that the last time, in the before section, I told you that it was 52% through, but it was actually 53. There was this small mix-up, because sometimes I stitch using my tablet and other times I stitch using my phone, because I use the tablet to watch something with my husband, and then I forget to transfer the progress from one device to another. So when I started stitching in this decade, I was kind of confused why the areas that I was supposed to work on were already filled out. So I double checked, and I figured out that I was 1% short on my tablet, and I had to transfer the pattern from the phone. What can I say about it? There's nothing much to add. I just, today when I was stitching it, I realized that it's a very good approach. This section approach. This section is blue, this teal green. This section is going to be purple, violet-ish. Maybe it wouldn't be that noticeable if I had an original kit, but since I kitted it on my own, and my organization looks like this. Yeah, it isn't much of an organization, but it kind of somehow it works. Why it works best when I'm using these sections, because since I don't know all the gamma numbers, the flows which is used in this pattern is gamma, from the brand gamma. And I don't know which number coincides with which color. And if you work with one section, let's say blue section, you know that you have, for instance, 6 colors of blue. Instead of 30 colors of the whole palette, you have 6 colors to pick from. And it kind of speeds up the process. Not really, but a bit. And that's what I pointed out for myself, being at almost 60% through the project. Wish I could have spotted this pattern earlier, but it is what it is. I don't mind. So yeah, my dragon has a little over 10,000 stitches left. So maybe in the few upcoming months, it will transition to my monthly projects from my decades. Actually, honestly, I can't wait until something transitions from my decades to my monthly projects, or maybe it becomes a finish. Why? Because I have this urge to start a few new projects. Not that the overall count of my whips bothers me, it doesn't. The only thing that bothers me is that I cannot work on every project equally. I cannot dedicate as much attention as I would like to each project, but that's okay too. But it's still, there's somewhere in the subconscious this lingering feeling or vibe or thought that if I finish something, or if it transitions from my decades, I will have more freedom to start something, to start something new. Actually, I have 3 new projects in mind. None of them has arrived yet. I just ordered them recently. But I haven't been buying anything much for the last couple of months, probably since the end and beginning of the year. And yesterday I caught myself thinking that even though my shopping lists on various platforms is kind of full, I like the pictures. I like those kits that I've added to my shopping list, to my favorites, but I don't have that urge to acquire them and then start them, because there's something at the back of my mind that tells me that I might never start it. Because I have this one project design. It's actually a design. I call her Sleeping Beauty. It's just a hypothetical thing, and for the longest while I couldn't find couldn't acquire the digital pattern for it. And recently I got it. I couldn't sleep until I got it, actually. And then I got it. And I still like it. I like it very much. But it is closer to 50 or 60,000 stitches, which is a lot of work. And I can get a pre-kitted design. So I have the pattern. I can get the kit, so I can start it whenever I want to. But then there comes the point where I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. And it isn't one of those projects which I want to see on my walls in the nearest future, at least. And I caught myself thinking that I'm not gonna be getting that kit even though I have the design, which is weird because a few months ago, not even talking about a few years ago, I would have gotten the kit instantly the moment I got the pattern. So, to the point where I was acquiring something, I ordered 3 new kits. Hopefully, they will arrive somewhere in the middle of April. By the end of April, whenever they come, I will start them, because these are the designs that I have wanted for a while, and I'm talking about years. And I know that when they arrive, I'm not going to be putting them in my stash. I'm going to start them. No matter how many stitches I will be able to add, considering my rotations and stuff. But I will start them. And of course, I will share them with you. And then surely I will share the stories behind, if any. So, sorry about this side road. My dragon, 56.6. We'll see it next time. This is yet another piece that you haven't seen in March, which means that I haven't progressed it in March. The last time I worked on it was in February. It is Madonna with grapes from Golden Fleece. It is a replica, or rather cross-stitch created after the Mignard's painting. I have a soft spot for all sorts of reproductions, all of them, most of them, except for Mona Lisa. I don't know, I've seen so many designs, not actual designs, but so many creative takes from free designers, from different cross-stitching brands on this painting, but I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me. I don't know why I don't like it, but you know, we all have our tastes. Instead, I have so many replicas. I guess I have 3 or more, probably even 4 replicas, 4 cross-stitch kits created after Van Gogh. I have one after Monet, one after Klimt. Then there's the Road in Rye, which is after Shishkin. I mean, I have many of them, and I kind of regret that I don't have access to more of Golden Fleece older works. I don't know why. I mean, I know why I didn't get more of them before, because at that point I was just kind of starting my cross-stitching collection, and these pieces cost like over $50-60 in Ukraine, maybe 5 years ago, and that was a lot for me. So I couldn't afford. As I said once, this one was a present from my mom, and I'm very grateful that we've chosen it. But I kind of angry with myself that I cannot finish it since 2021. Well, in my defense, I could say that it is a huge piece. It is 67,000 stitches. It doesn't have back stitch or half stitch, solely full stitch into your strands. But it isn't difficult. It is extremely easy and pleasant to work with. The only probably challenge is that the floss is like pre-cut very shortly. It's like, I don't know, around 60 centimeters long. So you have to take 2 strands, and considering the field you usually have to cover, you have to then take another and then another, which is kind of a time consuming and probably at times even annoying, especially as you can see, I have made this outline because it stitches in this dark chocolate brown. So you don't even need to use the chart or the digital pattern to work with this. You just can fill in the blanks and the the piece will progress like crazy, but I don't want to do that because for one, it's gonna be easy for me, but then it's gonna be boring for you to watch. I do that like partially. I'll work on something more difficult, then I add a few rows here, then I switch from one to another. And as for where I'm gonna go this time, as you can see, this part is all pretty much evened out. So I think I will move to her blue clothes, and I'm going to focus in this part, and occasionally I'm going to be adding a few rows here too, probably. Hopefully we'll have enough time to work on this decade. I don't know about you, and tell me in the comments below, do you kind of convert the clock? Because I know that for sure that in Ukraine and in Europe you have to set the clock an hour ahead in spring, and then you reverse it and set it an hour back in late autumn. I like the second part when they set an hour back, so that it seems like you have more time at hand. But when they do that and reverse the clock an hour ahead, it seems like I'm losing time. I don't know what's the magic behind it, but it seems that my days for some reason are even shorter, even though I'm not like waking up later than usual or going to bed earlier than usual. But it's like you do something, you work or do some chores or something, and then it's like 7 p.m. and it's like where did the day go? I don't know how this works. Maybe I need some more adjusting, because I think we turned that clock. Sorry, my cat is being an asshole. So yeah, where was I? I think we turned that clock maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it was the last. It was the last Sunday of March, and now it's almost my decade is almost running its course. So it's not even 2 weeks, but for some reason I'm so lost in time. I don't know. So yeah, Madonna with grapes. At this point, I am 66% through, which is amazing. But on the other hand, I still have 23,000 stitches to cover. I'm not sure if I will manage to finish it this year. I would really want it to be that grand pompous finish of the year, but I'm not sure. It's already April, so we have like what, 8 more months. I'm not sure if it's doable. Only if I take it as my monthly project. Well, which I don't know yet. At this point in time, I want to stick to my current rotation with my like yearly process, monthly projects, and my decades. And maybe I will change something closer to the middle of the year. I don't know. It's just thoughts aloud, just brooding. So yeah, Madonna with grapes, 66%. I will focus on the left side on her blue clothing and maybe a bit on the background. And we'll show you my progress in a second. One more whip. I guess you're tired of hearing that already. But one more whip that I managed to fulfill my preset goals is Madonna with grapes. Well, I almost fulfilled my goals. So as you can see, her shoulder is almost, her shoulder is ready. I'm just looking at the picture. So this I don't know whether it is a collar or maybe it's a hood, but I finished. And can you see the difference in color. I just noticed it just yet. Here it is blue. Here it's like more violet-ish, even in real life, not through the camera. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter much to me. I don't care about the preview much. I care about what the general idea of the design. So yeah, as I said, I finished her shoulder. I truly wanted to like finish all the blue colors because there are no blue colors left except for this part. But once again, I was running out of time. Even though I managed to add almost 1100 in this whip, and I am at the point of 67.6, which means that I added what, almost 2% to this design, considering the scale, considering that it is almost 67,000 large. It's not a bad addition of 2%. And once again, by the way, I didn't work on the background because didn't have the time. It once again, a revelation struck me kind of when I was working on this project. That's about my rotation. At first I thought that 12 projects would be enough because, you know, it's like 4, 4, and 4 for 3 decades of the month. But then for some reason, I mean, for reason what? There were more projects that I wanted to be in my regular rotation than number 12. So I decided to add 14 of them, which left me this room for this freedom of choice. Although I'm using a fortune wheel to help me choose a pattern I'm going to be working on in each decade, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to make that decision. But still, the fortune wheel leaves 2 patterns out, and you never know which 2 of the 13th are gonna be out in this month. For instance, this design wasn't in my March decade. It was in my works back in February. The same goes for, I think, Bella Filipina, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, for me, it is a balance of organized, not rational, or let's put it, orderly approach and freedom. If you know what I mean. So yeah, Madonna with grapes, 67.6%, 21.7 thousand to go. I've been doing some calculations in my mind, thinking about what should I do to finish it by the end of this year. Haven't arrived at any practical, doable, effective conclusion, so still don't know. But who knows? Time will tell. As I told you, this part is just solid color, solid chocolate brown, so you can stitch like 2,000 in a go. And in this color, I have 5,000 stitches to finish. And as I mentioned before, for some reason when I was counting, I missed one row. There should be one more row. So when I fold this piece, I don't know when, because I don't feel very comfortable stitching closer to this fold. This area will be the most comfortable for me to work on at this point, and then I will have to fold it. But we'll see. Let's finish the middle part, and then we'll think about the background. And that's only the the brown color, but there are also like the greens, the blues, which come in huge fields of the same color. So the only intricate part is left for me is what is her face, remaining blanks of the child's face, the arm, the hand, this whale that she has, and then the background is gonna be just easy peasy. So yeah, overall, I'm more than satisfied with how this project turned out, how my previous works turned out in the course of these 10 days. Yes, I might have not progressed like by 2,000 stitches each, but still, it is acceptable progress for me. The last piece that I want to share with you in this decade is going to be my dream home, or as someone told me, Ambilight from J Sunday, which is my yearly process. I think I didn't show it to you last time, so I thought that the beginning of April is going to be perfect time to show my March progress on this piece. It isn't much. I mean, the last time you saw it, I was working on this couple of rows, going all the way up. And after I finished it, after I reached the top, I went back to the bottom. This area was done in part, and these, I guess, four rows up, I was progressing them in March and in the beginning of April a little bit. So I am already at 12.5% with this project, which is also great because it has 112, almost 12,000 stitches, and I have 97.8 to go. I don't know. Well, I know that I'm not gonna finish it by the end of the year, but maybe by next March it will be finished. So I've been working on these bushes. As you know, the green colors aren't my favorite ones, but then there was a fair share of blue, a bit of red, and these like rotten green bushes. So I added, I think, I don't know how many stitches. I think it's around 2,000 stitches have been added. And I think that the percentage is off. Yes, I'm not at the point 12.5. I've been stitching using my phone, so I'm at the point of 14% through. Yes. So 2,000, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Stitches were added. As it turns out, I am a little behind of schedule. I should be finishing week 15 according to my progress count, but I'm just in the beginning of week 14, so I'm like 1,500 stitches behind, which I'll have to deal with during these decades of April, so that it's gonna be all is gonna be good in the beginning of May. So it's kind of impossible whip to show on camera because it is so large. But on the other hand, there's nothing much to show. Although I think that behind these green bushes, somewhere there, it's gonna be the roof of the house. which isn't much, but another element is always nice. So these are all the works, all the whips that I have been working on in this decade of April. As I said before, I'm more than pleased with the progress that I've made so far. Hopefully the second decade will be as productive, although I think that there might be a few days that I'm not going to be able to stitch because we have a pre-planned travel. It's kind of a bit business and pleasure travel. When we get back, I'll talk more about it, not to kind of, jinx it. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for staying with me. If you like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Also, if you have any questions about the projects that you've seen in the video or about something that I said in the video, don't be shy to ask me in the comments. I'm always eager to respond. Hopefully this time I will be quicker to respond because it seems that all the troubles have settled down for a bit, tuned down for a bit. So yeah. Also, if you like any of my whips, there will be a few links in the description below where you can find them. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find all of them because some of them are pre-kitted, others from where? From inaccessible sources. So thank you once again. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in my next videos. Bye.